New at 5, California health officials have a new message for cell phone users. KPIX5's Susie Steimel is in Berkeley with some brand new state guidelines. Susie?
Well, Liz, don't sleep with your cell phone under your pillow and don't ever have it in your pocket. That's the new message coming from the state today. Now, stores that sell cell phones in Berkeley issued this same warning more than a year ago. Now the state's jumping on board.
We recognize that there are a lot of people in the general public that have some concerns about their cell phones and whether the cell phone is using a cell phone is safe.
This is a big first for the California Department of Public Health. It's releasing guidelines about harmful cell phone radiation and how you can avoid it.
When you sleep, you keep the cell phone at least arm's length from your body. And also not carrying your cell phone in your pocket, having it either in your purse or not carrying it with you.
The research suggests cell phones could increase our risk for brain cancer and tumors, low sperm count, headaches, impaired memory, hearing, and sleep.
Currently, we're not doing a good job in regulating the radiation from these devices. In fact, we're doing an abysmal job.
Dr. Joel Moskowitz of UC Berkeley says this is a long time coming. He's partially responsible for bringing this information to light. He sued the Department of Public Health for refusing to release information about the dangers of cell phone radiation back in 2009. He won.
People are being injured and harmed by the delay in having this information accessible to them.
So the question remains, does this release mean the state now believes cell phones are dangerous?
Not at all. Our position is that the science is evolving.
The state said that one of the biggest reasons why it chose to release these numbers now is because, or release these warnings now, is because new numbers are out showing that cell phone use is higher than ever. It's 95% of Americans that use cell phones on a regular basis, and most kids are getting cell phones by age 10. We're live in Berkeley. Susie Steimel, KPIX5.
I've witnessed recently, America faces grave threats. Terrorists have struck in the streets and subways of New York City twice in a few months. Both terrorists came to our country through the dysfunctional immigration system that we are correcting, and rapidly. And one came through chain migration. The other, visa lottery. They have a lottery. You pick people. Do you think the country's given us their best people? No. What kind of a system is that? They come in by a lottery. They give us their worst people. They put them in a bin. But in his hand, when he's picking them, is really the worst of the worst. Congratulations, you're going to the United States. Okay. What a system, lottery system. We're calling for Congress to end chain migration and to end the visa lottery system and replace it with a merit-based system of immigration.
Hi, I'm Ajit Pai. I'm the chairman of the FCC. Recently, there's been quite a bit of conversation about my plan to restore internet freedom. Here are just a few of the things you'll still be able to do on the internet after these Obama-era regulations are repealed. You can still gram your food. Quality. Are you selfieing or just... you can still post photos of cute animals, like puppies. You can still shop for all your Christmas presents online. Yes, got that bulk deal on fidget spinners. Yes, those Eclipse glasses are so cheap. You can still binge watch your favorite shows. You can still stay part of your favorite fan community. You can still drive memes right into the ground. And everything else you ever did on the internet. Like everything. All of it. All of it.
Dude, this is a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS, though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like another thing, it's rotating.
Far too common in Chicago. Police investigating a shooting here.
And heavily armed United Nations peacekeepers operating in some of the most dangerous corners of the earth. Now there's a push to bring them here. Good evening, I'm Rob Johnson.
And I'm Erica Sargent. A Cook County commissioner wants to get the peacekeepers to Chicago to battle our violence problem.
But it would be an unusual move. Consider this from a UN promotional video. Peacekeepers often operate in hostile environments where others cannot or will not go.
CBS 2 political reporter Derek Blakely picks up our story.
They've helped stop the fighting in war-torn hotspots across the globe, from Syria to Sierra Leone. Now a Cook County commissioner is appealing for UN peacekeepers in Chicago's crime-ridden neighborhoods.
I know that there are those who say that this is an admission that we can't protect the people in the city, but quite frankly, we haven't protected them.
But one West Side alderman whose ward is plagued by violence rejects the military analogy.
This is not war. I mean, we may have some daunting statistics, but again, military intervention is not the answer.
Alderman Irvin says it's an economic intervention, not a military one, that's needed to stop Chicago's violence, jobs, and investment. And Mayor Emanuel insists progress in crime-fighting technology and community policing is reducing shootings and killings in high-crime areas like Inglewood.
For all of us that know what Inglewood has stood for before, it's different. And it's the residents saying it. It's not some social scientist saying it.
Tonight, after the meeting, Boykin said the Assistant Secretary General told him one circumstance under which he might come to Chicago.
There is a global study that the UN is working on regarding youth and violence. Once that is published, he said that he'd be delighted to receive my invitation to come and to talk about the contents of that study.
Now, according to Boykin, the Assistant Secretary General also said the U.S. mission at the UN could invite him to Chicago as well, but that is even more unlikely. And either possibility is a far cry from peacekeeping forces on Chicago streets. Nevertheless, Boykin insists that Chicago needs help, desperately needs help, and that too many Chicago officials want the public here to turn a blind eye to inner city violence. Rob and Erica, a lot of politicians believe that Boykin's simply grandstanding here, but he is betting that his constituents will see him as thinking outside the box and give him credit for doing everything he can.
Have we seen any other leaders in other cities try something like this before?
No, this is something completely unusual. I mean, completely out the box, because the UN, intervenes in hostile situations, civil wars, that kind of thing. And even applying that tag to what's going on in the streets of Chicago, of course, is something Chicago leaders do not want.
We've heard various leaders say bring in the National Guard, but we've never heard anything about the UN peacekeepers, have we?
Another step. Another step.
All right. Thanks, Derek.
The battle is on against that massive and deadly wildfire, the Thomas Fire, claiming the life of a firefighter. As it grows, it is now California's fourth largest fire ever, scorching nearly 250,000 acres. It's only 35% contained. ABC's Matt Gutman is near the front lines for us. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Robin. This fire has been surging over the past 24 hours, jumping over containment lines. Again, it is fueled by wind and single-digit humidity. Now, I want you to see what's going on here. This forest has been burning, and the firefighters here have cut what you see here. This is a bulldozer line. They're waiting to make sure it doesn't leap over this line and engulf this house. Now, there are 8,300 firefighters still fighting this gargantuan fire, the Thomas Fire, and the fire has proven deadly once again. A firefighter killed in the line of duty just yesterday. He is survived by a pregnant wife and a very young daughter. Many of the firefighters expect to be here until after the new year. You know, we've spent over a week on this fire now. We've driven almost around most of the perimeter. It is enormous, stretching from where I am right now nearly 50 miles away to the outskirts of Santa Barbara. It is roughly less than half the size of the state of Rhode Island. And give you a sense of how many people have been affected. I mean, I think you can tell how smoky the air is right around me. Hundreds of thousands have been affected by smoke advisories. 95,000 people are still under mandatory evacuation orders, and many of the schools in this area closed last week, and they will remain closed until after the new year. Robin.
That's understandable, Matt. Thank you very much. And